We were at a dinner party hosted by one of her colleagues. The evening had started well, with laughter, drinks, and polite conversation. I was proud to be there with her, thinking we were a team. But everything changed when I reached for her hand under the table. She pulled her hand away quickly, her face tightening. Then she whispered, "Don't let them think we're a couple." My chest tightened at those words. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I stared at her, trying to process what she had just said. Did I hear her correctly? Don't let them think we're a couple? But wasn't that exactly what we were? Husband and wife? I looked around the table. Her co-workers were chatting casually, unaware of the storm building inside me. She, on the other hand, smiled at them, pretending everything was normal. Her words rang in my ears like a cruel echo. I leaned closer and asked quietly, "Why would you say that?" She didn't look at me. Instead, she focused on pouring herself another glass of wine, brushing me off as though I were an inconvenience. The humiliation hit me harder than I expected. I felt like a shadow, sitting beside someone who didn't want to be associated with me. My stomach churned. I knew if I stayed seated, I'd only crumble further inside. So I stood up. The chair scraped against the floor, drawing a few curious glances from the others. She looked up at me sharply, her eyes widening. "Where are you going?" she whispered, clearly annoyed. I gave her a steady look. "I won't sit here pretending," I said quietly, enough for her to hear but not the whole table. Then I walked out. The night air outside was cool, a sharp contrast to the burning shame inside me. My phone buzzed with her texts almost immediately. "Where are you going? Don't be dramatic. Come back inside." But I didn't. I couldn't. I walked down the street, each step heavy but freeing. For once, I wasn't the one being hidden, silenced, or dismissed. I was reclaiming my self-respect. When I got home, she arrived an hour later. She was furious. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone," she shouted. I laughed bitterly at that. I embarrassed her? "You told me not to let them think we're a couple," I said firmly. "That's not embarrassment. That's rejection." She tried to spin it, saying she didn't want workplace gossip, that she was just being professional. But that excuse felt hollow. Professionalism doesn't require erasing your spouse's existence. Professionalism doesn't mean telling your partner to disappear in plain sight. Over the next few days, the tension thickened. She wanted to sweep it under the rug, pretending nothing happened. But I couldn't forget the sting of those words. Every time I replayed them in my head, my heart hardened. I realized then that this wasn't about one dinner party. This was about how she truly saw me, someone she was ashamed to stand beside. And that truth cut deeper than anything else. So I told her calmly, "If you don't want people to think we're a couple, maybe we shouldn't be one." The silence that followed was deafening. For once, she had no comeback. That night, I packed a bag and left. Not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. I couldn't spend my life being treated like a secret or an afterthought. It wasn't easy. Ending a marriage never is. But walking away that night was the first time I felt in control, the first time I chose dignity over humiliation. Looking back now, I'm glad I stood up, literally and figuratively. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to shrink yourself for someone who doesn't value you. Because love should never mean being hidden. And if someone asks you not to let the world see you as a couple, maybe the world already knows the truth. They aren't your partner anymore.